Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. The BYU Cougars come in at number 17 in our way too early top 25. And guys, the Cougars have been on a tear these last few years, going 21-4 in the last two seasons, 11-1 in 2020, 10-3 just last year. And guys, this team has the chance and the potential to be even better than they were last year, despite what is going to be a very, very difficult schedule going into 2022. So guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. That's what we're here to break down today. BYU schedule going into 2022. What is their outlook and what is the ceiling possibly for this Cougars squad going into this next season? Before we start breaking that down, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in that description below. Guys, hitting that like button, leaving a comment, hitting that subscribe button, all those things that take you just a few seconds to do help grow our channel exponentially. So make sure to do that. Help us out. If you love college football, this is the place for you, and you can become part of our Gridiron Expert team today by taking just a few seconds to do all of that. We greatly appreciate that and cannot wait to bring you more college football coverage, not just today, but for the rest of the year, 24/7, 365. So we take a look at BYU, guys. This is a team, before we dive into their schedule, again, a team that is loaded with talent coming into 2022. You know, after 2020, when they went 11-1 in that COVID year, everybody goes, okay, that was just a fluke. They had a pretty favorable schedule, whatever. Kalani Sitake and the Cougars followed that up in 2021 with another double-digit win season. Lost Zach Wilson, didn't matter. Another double-digit win season, going 10-3. Losing to UAB in that Independence Bowl, so a bad way to end the year. Other losses coming to Boise State and Baylor. To me, not too bad of a loss. But when you look at the roster, guys, I mean, they're, again, loaded. Practically the entire defense returns for BYU going into 2022, and that's huge. There's a chance that they could put up similar defensive numbers like they did back in 2020, where they had one of the better defenses in the entire country, despite having a relatively weak strength of schedule. Doesn't matter. Their numbers were unbelievable. When you look at the offense, they do have to replace Tyler Algier at running back, and that's a very difficult thing to do. A guy that rushed for over 1,600 yards and led all FBS backs with 23 rushing touchdowns last year. Going to be tough to replace him. But Jaron Hall returns at quarterback, has full control of this BYU offense. I thought did a phenomenal job of filling in for Zach Wilson last year, replacing him. Practically the entire offensive line returns for BYU this upcoming year. And this is a year, guys, where their strength of schedule, with the amount of guys they have on their schedule this year, could make BYU a college football playoff contender, could put them into the top 10 late in the year. And this is a great opportunity for BYU to take advantage of this and to really start playing against some higher level competition as they prepare to move into the Big 12 in 2023. So we take a look at their schedule, guys. The first thing I want to point out is the amount of potential top 25 teams that BYU will face. BYU, obviously for us, is a top 25 team going into 2022. They will be by the Associated Press. But I'm looking at this. Baylor, Oregon, Notre Dame, Arkansas, maybe Boise State, maybe Stanford. But I see 1, 2, 3, at least four top 25 teams, maybe even top 15 teams that BYU has on their schedule right now in Baylor, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Arkansas. The opportunities are there for Kalani Sitake and the Cougars. They are there to win those games and to continue to rise up in the ranks, guys. And I'm telling you, if they go in to their bye week, which is pretty late, 10 games. It's really the one downside I feel like the BYU schedule is the fact they have to play 10 games before they even get a break. But if they go into their bye week at 10-0, 9-1, you're not going to be talking about BYU as, hey, it's another good year. You're going to be talking about them as, yes, potential playoff contenders. And I really do believe that. Their strength of schedule this year is much different and much better than it's been the last few years because of the teams we just mentioned. When you look at their schedule again, guys, a little bit deeper, unlike some of the teams we've already broken down in our top 25, I don't see a key stretch for BYU. There's not 1, 3, 4 game stretch where I go, this is going to be the most difficult one for them. This is going to determine, a championship for them because they're not in a conference, obviously. They're independent. So I'm really breaking it down to those 4 big games that we just mentioned. And we'll start with Baylor. Week 2, you're going to really see what this BYU team is made of. Getting to host Baylor, the reigning Big 12 champions, a team that BYU lost to in Waco last year, 38-24. This is a Baylor team that we expect to have another solid defense once again under Dave Aranda, and an offense that has a couple questions, and it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they can fix those questions and how quickly they start to gel in Week 2 in Provo. It's going to be a great Week 2 matchup there, and a great test for both teams. Is BYU legit? Is Baylor legit? That's going to be a great test for both, and one of the more underrated Week 2 matchups, in my opinion. Right after Baylor, BYU has to go to Oregon. Oregon, a team dealing with a brand new head coach in Dan Lanning, a team that we do believe is a top 15 team going in to 2022. But a team that certainly has some questions of their own. Who's going to be quarterback? Could it be Bo Nix? Will it be somebody else? How's the defense going to react? Obviously, they lose Kayvon Thibodeau off to the NFL, and a couple key pieces here or there. And then overall, just really, how does Dan Lanning gel in Eugene? How quickly does Oregon start to work under him? They will have already played Georgia in Week 1, Oregon, Georgia in Week 1, so the Ducks will be battle-tested. And I think they're really going to benefit from having this game at home. I would almost, we're not predicting any games right now, but if this game was in Provo, I might be leaning BYU's way. This could be a game where home field advantage plays a major role. But within the first 3 weeks, BYU is going to play what we believe are 2 top 15 teams. One at home, one on the road. And if they somehow come out of there 3-0, you better start talking about BYU, and you better start taking them seriously. So that's going to be key there. They get Wyoming in Week 4. They get Utah State in Week 5. Again, the Aggies, no slouch. Blake Anderson did a phenomenal job with them last year, winning, 11 games? No slouch out of the Mountain West. BYU did beat them 34-20 last year, though. And they get 2 more games, Notre Dame and Arkansas. So those back-to-back games are going to be key for BYU. They get Baylor and Oregon back-to-back, and then Notre Dame and Arkansas back-to-back. And if you look at this a little bit closer, you realize that only one of them, in those 4 biggest games, one of them comes on the road. They play Notre Dame in Las Vegas, and they get to host Arkansas and Baylor. Only true road game is the one at Oregon. So Notre Dame and Las Vegas is going to be key there. Huge because both these teams are independent. Notre Dame, certainly in our eyes, is going to have more of a college football playoff chance than BYU. They're probably going to start the year off in the top 10. They have great opportunities across the board. Their strength of schedule a little bit better than that of BYU, but an opportunity for the Cougars to, again, prove themselves, make some noise in what's going to be an amazing atmosphere out in Sin City. And then you get Arkansas on October 15th. Unique mid-season matchup that's going to be more difficult for the Razorbacks, I believe, than the Cougars, because Arkansas will have been adjusted already to SEC play. Will have already played teams like South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Alabama. They will then have to travel all the way out west to Provo, Utah, to take on BYU. That's a very difficult thing to do, to stop conference play and move out and start some mid-season non-conference game that's not against an FCS or a low-level opponent. BYU far from that. So it's going to be a big game for Arkansas, though. KJ Jefferson going up against Jaron Hall. Should be a fun quarterback matchup there. But again, BYU getting to host that. And right now, if I had to choose, I might be leaning more towards BYU's way on October 15th than the Razorbacks. Although, again, we're not here predicting records or any games right now. So again, tough opponents for BYU, no doubt about it. Benefiting, of course, from getting them back-to-back. I don't know if I'd want them spaced out. I think BYU is going to enjoy having their 4 toughest games kind of in back-to-back. Baylor, Oregon, small break, and then Notre Dame, Arkansas. Because the rest of the schedule, guys, is relatively favorable. At Liberty, not going to be an easy test. Hugh Freeze, great coach, but they lose Malik Willis. East Carolina, don't think many are worried about that. They're going to look to avenge their loss to Boise State from last year, a team they lost to 26-17. Winning on the Smurf turf is tough. Not going to be easy for the Cougars. But Boise State still dealing with a handful of questions as well. And, of course, BYU, if they're riding high, if they're undefeated at this point, if they're a one-loss team at this point, is going to be very, very hot at looking to take down the Broncos. Again, BYU was in the top 10 last year when they fell to Boise State. Get their bye week. They'll cruise past Dixie State, and the road game at Stanford is no slouch. BYU did take down USC last year in their season finale, so they conclude once again with a Pac-12 team out of California. But Stanford has kind of been on a bit of a decline lately as compared to when they once were a power back in the early 2010s. So again, guys, this schedule is one that I really feel like we really haven't seen from BYU. Yes, last year they faced, 7 Pac-12 or 7 Power 5 opponents, many of them coming out of the Pac-12. It's not the fact that we're looking at this and saying, oh, wow, look at the amount of Power 5 opponents they're playing. It's the quality of Power 5 opponents they're playing. Again, the 4 big games that we just mentioned, all 4 of those teams, and Notre Dame, yes, we know it's not a Power 5, they're an independent, but the 4 games that we just mentioned, all of them very well could be top 15 opponents when BYU plays them. And that's something that we haven't seen in years past when they've played teams like Arizona and Arizona State and Washington State. USC even last year was a dumpster fire. So Power 5, yes, but not elite like we expect some of these programs to be. So BYU is in for a tough year, tough schedule, but they absolutely have the talent to weather this storm. They absolutely have the talent to win every single one of the games on their schedule. Are we saying they're going 12-0? No. We're not predicting anything yet, though. But another double-digit win season, for me, is not out of the question for the Cougars with the amount of talent they have coming back. And if they can run the table, if they can win some of these big-time matchups, yeah, they might not get into the playoff, they might not get New Year's 6, but it's going to show they are ready to take on higher-level competition. They are ready to move on to that next stage, which is exactly where they'll be in 2023 with the move to the Big 12. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Again, help us grow our channel by hitting that like button, by subscribing to us, by becoming a part of our Gridiron Expert team and part of the GE Nation. We cannot do it without you, so make sure to do all of that. Check everything out down in the description. Again, help our channel grow. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.